Hello student, today we'll start the second part of our unit 2, that is chapter 2, control structure and loops. So in this lecture we are going to cover the following points: variables, variable concept, then type juggling concept, typecasting concept, and dollar get, dollar post and dollar request. So the first concept is variable. So by using this concept you can reference the value of a variable whose name is stored in another variable by prefacing or by starting the variable reference with an additional dollar sign. Now if you want to store the variable another variable's value, then we are going to use this variable concept. So see, we had already seen the pointer concept in C programming. So pointer holds what? Pointer holds the address of another variable. Now as in the PHP, this pointer concept is not introduced, okay, and if you want to store the another variable's value, then we are going to use this variable concept. How that will see? So see over here, I declare one variable $2 is equal to bar value is initialized to that variable. Now I want to convert this variable to variable. So as rule says, we have to use the extra dollar sign. So the extra dollar sign comes over here. $2 is equal to, we initialize the value as bars. Okay. Now see, as we are going to solve any mathematical function, same way if we apply that for solving this, what it will become? Now value of $2 is what? Value of $2 is bar. So this, if we replace this $2 with its value, that is bar, then it will become what? $bar. Okay, then it will become a $bar is equal to bars. So after the second statement execute, the variable $bar has the value bars. So when we'll say when I will say echo $foo, it will print the value as bar. But if I say echo $bar, then it will print the value as bars. So this is how, means what, this $foo is evaluated it as $bar, because the value of this $foo is bar. So when you evaluate this variable, it will be evaluating this value to the value of the variable assigned, or the value which is initialized to that variable. It will be evaluating that as the name of that variable. So this $foo, if you replace with the bar, then this $foo will become $bar. Getting? So the this $foo will consider it as a $bar, and to the $bar this bar's value is initialized. Again there is a difference between variable and pointer also. Variable holds the value. Pointer holds what? Pointer is not going to hold the value. Pointer holds the address of another value. Yes or no? So that is the main difference between variable and pointer. Now next concept is called as type juggling. Now what is type juggling? See, many of the time what happens in by using the PHP code, you have to do some arithmetic operation. You have to perform some arithmetic operation. So when we have to perform the arithmetic operation on any expression that contains a string, suppose the statement is given to you, do x is equal to a plus b, and the value of a is 10 and 20. So it is very easy for you to solve that equation. But if I told that do the calculation on the following value of a as a 10 and b as a hello, can you add these two? Because these two variables are of different data type. One is integer and another is a string. So can you add this? You cannot. Yes or no? But that is possible in PHP by using this concept called as type juggling. So when we have to perform any operation, arithmetic operation on any expression which contains a string. In that case, we have to apply two rules of this type juggling. The first rule says that string the expression contains the string, that string should be interpreted as appropriate numeric data type for evaluating the expression. If that string contains the numeric data, if that string start with any numeric data or numeric digit, then in that case what you are going to do, you have to consider that numeric data. Suppose I say 10 PHP. So this is our string. Suppose 10 PHP is your string. So from this string, as your string is start with a 10 is a numeric data. So in that case, our type juggling rule says that you have to evaluate that string with that numeric data and you should ignore the remaining string. Okay, so the first rule indicate that you have to consider the numeric data and you should evaluate your expression by considering that numeric data and ignore the remaining string. So if the string begins with one or more numeric character, then remaining string data will be ignored and only the numeric data you will be considering. This is the first rule. Now second rule says that what? Second rule says that if the strings begins with non-numeric character, string is having the numeric character but that numeric data is not present at the start of the string. So in that case, what you are going to do? You are going to evaluate that whole string as 0. Suppose previous example in the previous example I told, if you have a string like 10 PHP, okay, this is the combined one. So we consider that 10 numeric data and we ignore that remaining PHP string. Okay, but in the second case, if your string is like PHP 10, okay, PHP 10 is the combined word comes, suppose. So in that case, what you are going to do, the string is having the numeric data but that numeric data is not present at the start or at the beginning of the string. So we are going to evaluate that to 0. These are the two type juggling rules. So we'll see in this example one by one. So suppose your first variable over here, we declare it as the $foo is equal to 0. Now tell me, in this case, what is the data type of this $foo? The $foo data type is what? We initialize the value over here. It as $foo is equal to 0. The data type, as this 0 is included in a double quote, it will treat it as a string. So the $2 data type is string. Now if we'll see in the next another case, $foo plus equal to 2. What is the previous value of that $foo? $foo value is a string. Okay, this is not 0. So it is a string. So string plus 2 becomes what? Now as it is the string, our rule type juggling rule says what? Even though it is a string, it is start with a numeric data. So consider that numeric data. So numeric data from this string is what? 0 itself. So 0 plus 2 become what? 0 plus 2 become 2 itself.
2.
So this $foo will contain the value as 2. Now the data type of this $foo become what? Integer, and it carries the value 2. Now in the next case, if we'll see, $foo is equal to $foo. What is the previous?
Ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am.
Okay. So
Okay,
over here our data type of the previous or the value of the previous $foo variable is a 2. So $foo is equal to $foo plus 1.3. Previous value is 2. So 2 plus 1.3 become what? 3.3. Now the $foo will contain which value? $foo will contain 3.3 value and the data type will convert to float. Now in the next case, if in these two example we'll see, the type juggling concept will be more clear from these two example. In this case, we declare $foo is equal to 5. Your first value of the variable is 5 plus next is 10 little piggies, and that should be enclosed in a double quote. Now first operator over here, it has a string. First value of the variable is a 5 and another value of the is string. Now what our type juggling rule says, that if your expression, now this is the arithmetic expression we have, yes or no, this is our arithmetic expression. In that arithmetic expression, one variable is integer, but that expression contain one of the variable which is your string. Now type juggling rule says that if your one of the variable or one of the expression contains the string, then you have, and that string should start or begins with the numeric data, then you have to consider that numeric data, and that numeric data will be converting to integer, and the remaining string should be ignored. Okay, the remaining string you don't have to consider. Only if your string is start with a numeric data, that numeric data you consider it as a integer, and the remaining string you have to ignore. So if this, in this 10 little piggies, this whole is your string, because whole thing is enclosed with a double quote. So but this string is start with this 10 as a numeric data. Rule says what? If your string start with a numeric data, you have to consider that numeric data and convert it to integer. Now this 10 little piggies variable, this string variable, from this string variable we consider this 10, and this 10 will convert to integer. So when you convert 10 to integer, it will be have value 10 only. So 5 plus 10. Okay, when you evaluate this expression in PHP by using type juggling rule, how it evaluates? It evaluates it as 5 plus 10. 5 plus 10 become what? 15. So to this $foo, which value is initialized? 15 is initialized, and the data type of that $foo becomes integer. Okay, now in the next case, if we'll see, $foo is equal to, in the next expression again we use one string and one integer value. Now $foo is equal to, first value is your integer plus second value in that expression is string. If you observe that string small pigs 10, now this is the string. As our rule says that if your string start with the numeric data, then you have to consider that numeric data in the previous case. But over here second rule says that what? If your string does not start with the numeric data, but it holds the numeric data at the end, then the whole string should be evaluate to 0. Why? Because the string is not start with the numeric data. If this 10, instead of this at the end, this 10, if it is present at the beginning, then we'll consider that as a 10. We convert that value of a numeric data to 10. But this is the string, and that numeric data is at the end of the string, or in between. If that numeric data is present in between of the string also, then also we are not going to consider that numeric data to convert it to integer. Will evaluate whole this string. Which string? The small pigs 10 to 0. So 0 plus 5 become what? 5 plus 0 become what? 5. So the $foo value become 5, and the data type of this $foo is integer. Getting? The very important concept of PHP, type juggling. Now in the next we'll see the next concept, that is typecasting. I think this we already covered in C programming also and many of the languages. So the typecasting in PHP works much as it does in C. We already used. The name of the desired type is written in parentheses. If you want to convert one variable to another variable or another type, data type of that variable, if you want to convert one variable data type to another data type, that time we are going to use this type casting concept. And how to use? If you want to convert that, so the desired type should be written in parentheses before the variable which you need to be typecast, which you want to typecast to another data type. In the example, if we'll see here, I declare one variable $foo is equal to 10. Now 10 is what? Integer. So the data type of $foo is what? Integer. Now I want to convert this $foo's integer data type to another data type, that is boolean. Now as our rule says what, in which data type you want to typecast, that will come into parenthesis before the name of that variable. Now over here $foo is our variable. Before the name of variable, in which data type you want to typecast that variable, that should be come in the parenthesis. Now I want to convert that to boolean, so boolean $foo, and that new data type with that new variable value will be initialized to $bar variable. So what will be the value of this $bar? Now what will be the data type of this $bar? $bar data type is boolean. Okay, so the data type of $bar become boolean, even though the actual data type of foo is what? Integer. This, as it is integer data type or integer value is not initialized to this $bar, it will be, as we are converting that, we are typecasting it to boolean data type, so $bar will hold the data type as boolean. Getting? So this is how we'll do the typecasting. Suppose instead of this boolean, if I say $bar is equal to float into this bracket float $foo, in that case what will be the data type of $bar? The $bar data type is, in that case, is float, and which value it holds? It holds 10.0. Actual value of $foo is what? 10, integer. If you want to typecast to float, and over here if I use float into parenthesis and $foo, then this 10 is typecasted to float data type, and the typecasted value 10.0 is assigned to $bar. Then in that case the data type of $bar is float. Okay, so this is the typecasting concept. So for typecasting in PHP, we use the following things. So in the parenthesis, instead of whole integer word, okay, may you use the shortcut also, that is int, before the name of that variable which you want to typecast. So int and or integer may you use to typecast to integer. To typecast to boolean, may you use bool in a short in a parenthesis, or may you use boolean. Then for typecasting to float, we have three options. May you go with the float in a parenthesis before that variable name, or double in a parenthesis, or real. All these three will be treated that variable or typecast that variable to float itself. Then if you want to typecast to string, we use this string in the parenthesis, string keyword. Then if you want to typecast to array, we are using array. Then object, we are using object. And to typecast to null, we are using unset. But this unset where typecasting is only possible with the PHP 5.0 version. PHP 5 version, with it only this unset typecasting is possible. Okay. The new concept is the use of get and post method. So depending on, see, we know how client and server is communicating. Client send the request. So the request, when client is sending request to server, there are two ways by using which method client send the request to server. So from that, the two methods are get and post. So these are the two ways the browser or the client can send the information to web server. Whatever the data we accepted by using HTML, that data, when you click on the submit button, that form, that HTML form is going to send that information to web server. Web server end we have a PHP script. Okay, so to send that data to your PHP script to your web server, client is using, or for sending the request, the client browser is using these two methods, get and post. So before the browser send the information, it encodes it using a scheme called URL encoding. See, as it is, whole information is not sent by the client to server. Before sending, that information is encoded, and for encoding what they are using URL encoding method. So in this scheme, name and value pairs are joined with equal signs and different pairs are separated by ampersand. How that we'll see. See, name and value pair of what? See, when we are taking a text box, how you are going to take the text box? Input type is equal to text, name is equal to T1. Now what is the name of the text box? The name of the text box is T1. So that name will come over here, T1 or name1. Suppose you given the text box name as name1 is equal to its value. Suppose I entered in the first text box value is equal to 10. Then second ampersand sign will come, okay, that will concatenate, this ampersand sign will concatenate the second text box and its value. Now the second text box name is, suppose name2 is equal to its value. Suppose in the second text box you enter the value as 20. Again if you have third text box, then again third text box name and its value will be concatenated by using this ampersand sign. Now all the spaces are removed and replaced with a plus character, and any other non-alphanumeric characters are replaced with a hexadecimal value. After the information is encoded, it is sent to the server. Now see, what is this? That we'll see over here. By in the first method of a request method the client browser is using, that is get method. So get method sends the encoded user information appended to the page request. The page and the encoded informations are separated by question mark character. Now see, what is the use of get method? See, whatever the data we are going to accept from the HTML page, when we use the method is equal to get, that HTML data is going to display to the next page URL when we use the method as equal to get. So when you use method is equal to get, okay, so the data which you accepted through HTML page, that will be displayed to the next page URL in the form of this name of the text box and its value. So how it will be displayed? Suppose we created the HTML page, and on the HTML page form method is equal to, we use get, and action is equal to, you call the PHP page. So this data, whatever the data we are going to accept through the HTML, that data will be displayed to the PHP page URL, because we call the PHP page on the action attribute. So how it will be displayed? That will be displayed in this format. Name of that page over here, suppose the name is test.com. so name of that page, okay, this is the website, and we call the index.html page. So in that index.html page, how the data will be displayed? That will be displayed in this format. Name of the text box is equal to its value. How many text boxes you have? All the text boxes name and its value will be concatenated by using this ampersand sign, and this whole we called it as a query string. This is our query string. In the web technology term, we call this as the query string. When the data of HTML page is displayed to the next page URL, that generated URL we called it as a query string. Now see, the get method is having some feature that we'll see, then we'll go with the example. So first feature of get method is what? It produces a long string that appears in your server log in the browser's location. It will create, see, if you are designing the HTML form, and in that you are going to accept the details of student, like student name, address, class, marks, then whatever all the data if you are going to accept, and lastly you are taking the submit button. So all that information, when you use get method, the information is displayed to the next page URL. So all that data, all that text boxes, whether you are taking not only text boxes, if you take a radio button, so that radio button's value also, which radio button you click, that radio button and its value is also going to send to the next page URL. So it will be creating a long string to be displayed to the next page URL. The next characteristic is what? Get method is restricted to send up to 1024 characters only, even though you design a long HTML form. But the restriction for get method is it will send only 1024 characters to the next page URL. Okay, so other remaining character or remaining text boxes or other control name and its value will be not displayed. That is the length limitation of get method, 1024 characters only to be displayed to next page URL. The next characteristic is never use get method if you have password or other sensitive information to be sent to the server. Now see, if as I told, when you are using method is equal to get, okay, that time all your HTML data is to be sent to the next page URL. It will be displayed to the next page URL. So what happened? What the data you entered in that HTML page, it will be as it is shown to the URL of a next page. So data is visible to all. And even when you are using or when you are designing the login form where you are going to accept the login details, login credential like username and password, and when you say login, if your login username and password is displayed to the next page URL, so anyone will see it. It is very easy to trace what the data you entered in the previous page by observing the next page URL. So it is suggested that when you are going to design a form where you are going to accept the sensitive information, or basically when you are going to design the login page, that time never use this get method. Don't use this get method. The next is get can't be used to send binary data like images or Word documents to the server. It cannot send. This is a limitation. It cannot send the image or Word document to the server. The data sent by get method can be accessed using a query string environment. So in the previous slide I show how that query string is generated. So this query string will be generated in this format. So this can be accessed using, all the data can be accessed by using this query string. Then the last is PHP provides. Now see, we send the data through HTML page. Now to whom we want to send? We want to send that to your PHP page, because in the action attribute we specified the name of the PHP file. So that data, now whatever the data is entered in your HTML page, how PHP is going to accept that data? So for accepting that data in the PHP page, the PHP provides $_get associative array. So this array will hold all the text boxes, all the radio buttons value, and store that value in the form of key and value pair. Key is the name of that control, whatever the name you use for text box. Suppose you use T1, T2, so that will come as a name, and it's whatever the value you entered into that particular control, that will come as the value. So in that format, this $_get array will store all the information of that HTML page which you send, which you accept, and that data you send to the PHP. So this $get associative array to access all the sent information using get method. Whatever the information HTML page is going to send, by using get method, that will be accepted in PHP. Again I repeat, in PHP when we are going to accept the data of HTML page, we are using this $get associative array. This is also called as super global variable, and when we are using, that should be always in a capital letter, dollar, then underscore, and get should be a super global variable, so its name should be capital always. Okay, so these are some characteristics. Now over here we'll see how to use the get method in this example. So as I told you that when we are going to design a web script or server side scripting, we need to write two files. First one is your HTML, from where you are going to accept the data. That HTML file will come as your client side scripting. So in that, what you are going to do in the HTML file, we are going to say HTML tag open, body tag, then the new tag we use over here, that is form action is equal to name of your PHP file. Now action attribute, with that action attribute you should specify the name of a PHP file which you are going to create. And the one more attribute we specify over here, that is method is equal to get. Okay, so these two new attributes we are going to use over here. Action is equal to name of a PHP file and method is equal to get. Now over here in this HTML form, I had taken two text boxes to accept the information of name and age. So the first text box, input type is equal to text, name is equal to name. The name of the text box is given as the name itself. Again the second text box for accepting the age, input type is equal to text, name is equal to age. And lastly submit button, input type is equal to submit. Form tag close, body tag close and HTML tag close. Now see, as with the action attribute we call the PHP file. Now it is mandatory to you, whatever the name you specified over here, same file name, same PHP file name you should create. Now after this we are going to create, see when you run this HTML page, how it will be looking like. This will be looking like this, where it is showing two text boxes to enter the name and to enter the age and submit button. When you enter the data and when you click on this submit button, what will happen? See, in this submit button click, in the form attribute or in the form tag we specify action is equal to name of the PHP file. So when you click on this submit button, that PHP file is called. Means what? It calls the server side scripting. Whatever the data we accepted through this HTML page, when you click on the submit, that data is going to send to PHP file, which PHP file you specified with the action attribute. Action is equal to which file name you specified. So you need to code, you need to write the code for that file. So over here we need to create one more file, that is test1.php. As we already mentioned that file, as we already call that file with the forms action attribute. Now what you are going to do in this test1.php, as I told you, whatever the data we sent, see when you observe this file, we send two text box value, two values, name and age. That value we are going to send through this HTML page to this PHP file. Now by using which method we are going to send, this HTML form is going to send this data by using get method. So when we are accepting that data in PHP, we are using the respective, that get method's respective super global variable. As we use the method is equal to get, when we are going to accept that data from HTML page, we should go with the same relative super global variable. As method name is get, we should go with the $_get super global variable itself. As I told you, it will be the array which holds the data from your HTML page. So how it holds? Now I want to get that data. Whatever the data is hold through this $_get array, the HTML data, I want to accept that data and I want to store that data into a particular variable. Now how you are going to accept that data, how you are going to fetch that HTML text box data? Now I want to fetch the name value of the HTML control or that HTML page. Now how you are going to accept? $_get. As I told, this get is a super global variable which will always be in uppercase. So $_get into square bracket, no round bracket, into square bracket, inside a single quote, name of that text box. Now what the name we specified over here? The first text box name, value we specified it as, name of the text box is name. So over here I use the name of the text box as name in a single quote, square bracket close, semicolon. Again I want to accept the second text box value. What the name we had given over here? We had given the second text box name as age. Okay, small age. Now see, a is small, so as it is you should use over here. So again dollar underscore get inside a square bracket, inside a single quote, no double quote. Over here you should use only single quote. So inside a single quote, name of that text box. The name of that text box is, second text box is age. Okay, so dollar underscore get name of the text box age should be in a single quote inside this square bracket, and that value, accepted value of that HTML page, we are going to store into this variable $age. Okay, so whatever the two values we accepted through HTML page from that two text boxes, that we accepted and that we assigned to two separate variables. Now I want to print that data. How you are going to print? By using echo name is equal to, name is a message, so it should be in a double quote. I want to show the value of that text box, so that is already stored in this $nm. So concatenation operator $nm, value of that text box. Again concatenation operator dot operator br should be in a double quote, because I want to show the next message to the next line. So we use over here br. Okay, as br is a HTML tag, it should be always used with the echo and inside a double quote. When we are using HTML tag inside your PHP code, it should be with the echo and inside a double quote. Now next value, next text box value I want to show. So echo age is equal to concatenation operator second variable name, that is $ag and semicolon. So this is how we are going to write the PHP script. Whatever the data we accepted through HTML page, that we accepted in our PHP script by using this $_get. Why $_get? Because in the HTML we use method is equal to get, so we use this $_get super global variable over here. Okay, now if you run this, you will be getting this output. How that output will be? See, if you observe the URL, what I told when you use method is equal to get, that time the data, the data you are going to accept through the HTML page, that will be sent to the, or that will be displayed to the next page URL. Now this is your next page. Which next page we call? test1.php. So name of that PHP file, question mark, first text box name, that is name is equal to, which value I entered in the first text box? Swati. So Swati. Second text box is concatenated by using ampersand sign, ampersand age is equal to 34. So this is how whatever the data you are going to accept through your HTML page, and when you are going to use method is equal to get, that data, HTML data, will be displayed to next page URL. Okay, when you use method is equal to get. Even though we can, okay, so when you use get, method is equal to get, what happens? Instead of that URL, when you observe the next page URL with the name of that next page, the value of the HTML text boxes, the name of the text boxes and its value is displayed to the next page URL when you use method is equal to get. Getting? So keep in mind, get indicates what? Get the data of HTML page and show it to next page URL, display it to next page URL. That is the job of your get method. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now the next is, next method is, next method is post. So now the post method transfer informations versus the HTTP header. The information is encoded as described in case of get method. See, both method, it will be sending the data in the encoded and put into the header called query string. The post method does not have any restriction on the data size to be sent, and the post method can be used to send ASCII as well as binary data. See, it will encode the data. which get is not going to do. Get will not encode as it is, it will be showing the data to the next page URL. What the post will do, post will encode that data and it will hide that data to be displayed to the next page URL. So we'll see some characteristics. By using the post method, the data sent by post method goes through HTTP header. So security depends on HTTP protocol. As we know, HTTP is what? Hypertext Transfer Protocol, which is used for making the communication between your client and server. So by using this secure HTTP, you can make sure that your information is secure. Now, as in the GET we use to accept the data which is sent through the HTML page, we use in the PHP. How you are going to accept that data? We are going to accept by using $_get. Now over here, as we use post method, how you are going to accept the data into PHP which is sent through the HTML page? For that we are using $_post. Again, this post is the capital case, uppercase associative array to access all the information sent using the post method. Now see, what is the basic difference between your get and post? Get will display the data to the next page URL. Post will hide that data to be displayed to the next page URL. It will hide the data. It will not show what you entered into your HTML page. So again, the same program we use over here, same test.html, only I made the change. Over here method is equal to post. Previously in the previous program we make it as method is equal to get. Okay, now when you execute this file, then over here we call the next page, that is PHP file. Then again, now see, as we use the method is equal to post, so how we are going to accept the data in PHP? For that we are using the array $_post. This is the super global variable also we call. So $_post, again it should be a capital, then inside the square bracket, inside the single quote, name of that text box, and that value you are going to assign to a variable $name. Similarly, accept the second text box value. How? $_post, inside the square bracket, name of the second text box should come in a single quote H, and that we are going to store into $ag variable. Now print the both variable. Echo name is equal to concatenation operator $name and echo age is equal to concatenation operator $h. Now when you execute this both file, when we firstly executing HTML, then there you are entering the data, and when I say submit, that time you are getting this output. Now when you observe this URL, in the URL, as we use the method is equal to post, the data which we accepted through the HTML page, that is hide, or the data will be hidden and that will be not shown to the next page URL. Okay, it will restrict that data to be shown to next page URL when we use method is equal to post. So this is how the get and post method is works. Now one more thing we have, that is $request variable. Now see, when we are using $_, that time whatever the method you are using, get, post, that should, or request, it should always comes in a uppercase. Okay, now the third variable will see $request. Now tell me, many of the times happens, we created the HTML file previously and then you are going to create the PHP file code. Now if you don't remember which method I mentioned in my HTML form to send the data to PHP file, I forgot that method, whether I use their get or whether I use method is equal to post. So in that case, what the option you have, may you open again that HTML file and check which method you mention or you use. But we have one more option. You don't require to open that page and see which method you use. Instead of that, when you are going to accept the data in your PHP page, you can directly access that data in the PHP page by using this $_request variable. Now what this variable do? The PHP $_request variable contains the content of both $_get as well as $_post and $_ cookie also. That cookie will see in the next to next chapter you have that concept also. Now whether your method you use method is equal to get or post, so that will access both the information. It will contain all the data of get as well as post also. The PHP $_request variable can be used to get the result from the form data. Which form? HTML form data sent with both the get and post method. So wherever you are using get or post, it will access the data of both the method in the PHP file. How? That we'll see now over here. We created the test.html file, and in the test.html file what we had done, we had used the method is equal to post. Remaining text boxes are as it is. Now while writing the PHP code, you should use, how you are going to accept the data, may use $_post itself. But if I forgot which method I use over here, method is equal to get or method is equal to post, so in that case what you are going to do, you are going to use this super global variable or the array, that is $_request. Again it should be the capital word, capital case, and name of the text boxes. So this $_request variable is used for accepting the data from your HTML page, whether your form is sent with a get or post method. It will accept the data by both the method. Getting? So this is the use of your $request. So what we learned today, we learn the variable concept we already covered, type juggling, then typecasting concept also we had seen, and the $get, $post and $request variable. The difference between these two we had seen today. Thank you.